Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, January 24th. We are looking at Window Traders' market profile, the ES and the NQ. A lot to talk about. We're going to recap all the charts. I wasn't here last Friday, so we haven't done it in a couple of weeks. First and foremost, once again, our volume is going to be in the top 10 lightest again today for this year already. So that theme continues. Righty took out the balance high, but slightly, so I'm still calling it balance on the daily. They end with a 9-wide point of control. They got both overnights. NQ goes out with a double distribution day down. We were both triple distribution days until we took back one of the distributions very late. But we got with a double distribution day down. Still holding the gap, though, from the 22nd. ES goes out with a double distribution day down. However, holds the trend day from yesterday and the gap. And they're still up on the daily. They're now one time framing up 8 days on the daily. NQ, to me, just stretched the balance. So it's a 3-day balance now. We'll go over that on the charts. But today's low is the low of it. And Wednesday's high is the high of it. As they're trapped between the gap from the 22nd and the single print from December 18th. So at some point we got to win that. We'll see. You have a lot going on next week. Had a pretty good day. This was an interesting day. ES spent the entire morning above the base of the price spike. And then finally, and we were talking in the room, and this is what I love about my trading room. We said it wasn't going to be easy to get away from this wide overnight range. And it wasn't. We stayed there all morning, as you can see, in ES and in NQ. But I said at some point the odds of getting away from it will be decent. And the way E period, even though we tried to go trend in B and failed, after E went up, I thought, wow, you know what? We have a chance. The ranges were small. The IB was small. We got both overnights. So I said I wouldn't be surprised if we got both IBs. But after E failed up there, and we came back down, and we couldn't get back up above the opening. I want to show you something else in a second. I said to the room, if we do pull away from this wide POC, I think the odds have gotten much better to the downside. Now, I said that before, right? We had a 6 for 6 wide POC, ES and NQ. We were 6 for 6 wide. But we talk about nuances. Look at this. Look at G. And I mentioned this to the room when it happened. I said, don't ignore that. We missed A's low by a tick to go 7 for 7. And what happened? You never saw it again as we went trend down. NQ didn't get as close. Okay? They certainly didn't get as close, but same thing. We knew something had changed. Plus, we have a trader in our room that keeps track of the rotation factors. Now, I'm a huge value player. And I trade value over price. However, we put things into context. And even when the market was up here, before we broke down, in ES and NQ, the rotation factors were in favor of the bears in both ES and especially in NQ. Again, that wasn't something to ignore. And look what finally happened. We broke down. So, I had a good day. Started with a long against, hold on, where are we here? I took a long against the overnight point of control in A period when we came down. It got a responsive bounce off it the first time and some ebb and flow longs. I missed the overnight high. It popped at 9:45. I missed it. But I did well, though, on the overnight pocket ebb and flow trades. Then I got one of my staple trades. I took the short to get A's low to one time frame down. So I got that. Then I got the second staple trade, the short to take out the IB low. So I got those, not with full size because with the value higher and being above the base of the price spike, I wasn't comfortable to be going size on the short side at that point. I did not get the short and D period to get the overnight low. Now, After failing to go trend in B period, a whole trend, I did take the long in F. I faded a new low in NQ and did okay on it. But this is a live webinar. When G period started and the bulls really weren't getting any push up, I said to the room, I'm going to be a lot more cautious, right? Like you could have faded the edge in ES and you could have faded the new low, the extreme in NQ and made money, okay? But G period, I sensed that something was changing, and I said to the room, I am not looking to fade it. Now, I did miss G short, but I'd rather miss that than take another long. Remember, we weren't trend yet. We didn't know how much tempo, extension, and things of that nature we were going to get. Well, we certainly got it, didn't we? G, H, and I pushed down pretty good. And then they shut it off again in the last 4 time frames. So, again, helping the room and reading the room worked there. Believe it or not, I actually lost on a small short in H. I took a short on the turnover, and it actually went up, took it off for a loss, although it came back down. But then I, J, and K, I took shorts against the single prints and basically the one-time framing down, and did okay. I did lose on one short. I took another short in K to see if we defend a one-time framing. Once it got above it, I took it off, so I gave back small on that. So it was a good day overall and a good week. Now let's go to destinations quickly so we can get to these charts. Today's high is a yearly high, and that's another thing. SPY and SPX made all-time highs again today. Look at ES. It missed the all-time high by 1.5, 6 ticks. So interesting. 62.25 is today's high. Single prints, 44.50 to 43.50, very small. And then today's low is 22. In SPY, today's high is the all-time high, 610.78. Single print, 609.06 to 608.92. And today's low is 606.80. Now, let's get to these charts. So here's the Russell. The Russell in November blew out of a 4-month balance up. December was an inside month, so we went, and I said up to balance. But January took out both those lows. I called it down. Okay, and I'm going to call it down. I know we've rallied pretty good, but to me the monthly is still down in the Russell. Okay? Came out of the inside month to the downside. The weekly is balance. Right? We took out last week's high to put us back into balance. They were down prior to that. So the weekly is back in balance. I would probably use the weekly high of December 16th as my balance high, and last week is the balance low. So if that's the case, it's a 6-week balance. And the daily is also balance. Yes, we took out the balance high slightly, but this is a 4-day balance. So the monthly is down, the weekly is balance, and the daily is balance. Triple Q and NQ, monthly is balance. Right? We had a pretty poor finish to the month last month, but look how much we've taken back of it. For me, this would probably be a 2-month balance for now. Now, we still have 6 trading days, so if we came in a lot more next week, then it could be a larger one. But for now, I would say it's a 2-month balance, heading into the last 5 trading days. Weekly is also balance. We just came into balance. The balance high is the all-time high. The balance low is last week. That's an 8-week balance. This is a market still waiting for more MGI. The daily is also balance. 3 days. I didn't want to call it down. Okay? So the monthly is balance. The weekly and daily are also balance. It's a market waiting for more MGI, my friends. Let's go to the S&P. Balance on the monthly, but I would call theirs a 3-month balance. I would use November, December, and January. 3 months. Weekly. Balance. Right? It looks like it's up, but we were down coming into this week. Now, we made a new high. That's the new balance high on the weekly. If we take out today's high on Monday, now this is the SPY. ES technically didn't take it out, right? They missed the balance high on the weekly by 6 ticks. Talk about balance rules. But if we make a new high in SPY and in ES, I would then go to up on the weekly. So today's high is critical for the bulls to take. Otherwise, they're still in balance. And you don't want to go roll over to the bottom of it. And the daily is up. Never took out a low. Yesterday, we had a weak low against the prior day's low. Never took it out today. 8 days. One time framing up with these gaps below being our main focus. One other thing to note. I make fun of the volume on the way up. Now, not that the market was down a lot, but it was down. And look at the volume. 33.8 million. Horrendous. So there's nobody buying this market and nobody selling it. Again, I urge you to come and check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Go to the website and check out the pricing. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we will speak prior to the opening on Monday.